you all. Good morning, colleagues. So happy to be here. She already introduced our title, and we thank her for that. And what we notice is that a lot of campuses, okay, our animation is not working, but this slide right here is supposed to show some fish swimming around. And a lot of campuses are facing existential threat. And what it looks like is that many of them are fishing around trying to figure out what to do. And so they're making a last minute scramble. What do we do? Some are embracing the status quo with slight improvement. Some are totally re-engineering what they're doing. And so we wanted to set out to do a research investigation on what campuses should do. Since Dr. Billy and Joanne Roll had that conversation that she shared with you, nearly 100 colleges and universities have permanently closed across the United States. And then in terms of the historically Black colleges and universities, there were 121 in the United States. However, 20 of them have permanently closed down, and dozens more projected to close down over the next 20 years. And so some researchers argue that in order for campuses to improve their survivability, they ought to focus their competition more so on the educational services that they provide. Now, why are all of these campuses closing? The literature gives us three reasons. The first one, as you see there, financial problems and so forth. The second one is a strong US economy, especially pre-pandemic. Many people said, I don't need a four-year college degree. Let me go do something else and get an attractive career. The third one, many campuses increased their tuition greater than 8%, and their markets rejected it, and therefore they had to shut down the doors. Other campuses, they discounted their tuition greater than 35%, which hurt their operating budget and led to them having to shut the doors. And then another group, what they did is they depended on tuition for more than 85% of their revenues. And in the face of declining enrollment, they had to shutter their doors. So campuses are doing all sorts of things now to ward off survivability threat. They're adding attractive degrees, they're adding short certificate programs, dropping low enrollment programs that are too expensive to run. They're increasing their online activities. They're offering students even larger discounts on tuition. And some are even now reaching more so to alumni and community members as sources for raising revenues. This is a list of factors that impact campus survivability. So top leaders would be the president, provost, top VPs. Also campus recruitment activities, financial aid, housing, external competition from other campuses, and also from other organizations that provide short, attractive, alternative methods to an attractive career. Economic shifts, external shocks, such as pandemic, what government does at the federal, state, and local level, the brand image, peer testimony. What are people saying about the campus, especially high school students, prospective incoming students, community members, athletes, and so forth. And especially what are they saying through social media? Also, the faculty body and what they do. So in our research, we focus on this last one. What can the faculty body do to help ward off existential threat? Okay, so we looked to the literature and devised some research hypotheses, and we projected relationships that differ across four particular groups. So most campuses have a lot of information on students that successfully matriculate through a program through graduation. But there are three other groups that most campuses don't have a lot of information on, but we believe are extremely important. And one is first-year freshmen who stop out before completing 1 or 2 semesters. We believe that's an important group. The other one is other students who are not freshmen who stop out. And then the fourth one is students who were thinking about coming to the campus, but they never show up. So that would be prospective incoming freshmen, transfer students, non-traditional students. So we hypothesize relationships, differences in how they perceive a campus's ability to deliver very attractive jobs worthy of a 4, 5, 6-year commitment to a campus education. Campus's ability to deliver promotions in students' current jobs, graduate school acceptances, strategic internships versus any old kind of internships that have the sole purpose of allowing students to check off a box towards graduation, and then finally to receive a merit-based scholarship. And so we ask an important research question: how critical is student morale as a driver of these survivability variables that we see? in the last bullet. So in our research, we developed 8 broad research questions. I like to go through all 8 of them. The first one is, does a faculty body actually impact the satisfaction level of student experience in a way that impacts campus survivability? We believe that's an empirical question that needs to be answered. It's not so addressed in the literature. Number 2, does faculty impact on student experience vary among campuses in various stages of survivability threat? Similarly, do differences in student experience exist between different categories of HBCUs? And so we're going to share different categories in a moment. Do levels of student experience cause declining enrollment? Do they cause reduction in tuition revenues because students choose not to pay unpaid tuition? And then also campus survivability threat. Are closed down campuses, are they similar to lower ranked campuses and not similar to higher ranked campuses? Number 6, can lessons be gleaned by faculty at risk colleges from the previous experiences of closed down colleges? Number 7, does the satisfaction student level of student experience differ by student classification level, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? And number 8, does the perceived level of a campus's satisfaction level of student experience differ across those following 4 groups you see down there: community members, sister campuses, stop-out freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors, and also people who receive bachelor's degrees from a campus. Our research is targeted toward the faculty at struggling campuses who want to change their institution's survivability threat. Many studies focus on what top administrators should do, but we believe that focusing on what the professoriate can and should do is a question worth asking. It's an investigation worth pursuing. And so we do acknowledge that faculty members differ. And so in addition to being tenured versus non-tenured, there's this dimension of student-centric and non-student-centric, and faculty members fall anywhere on the continuum. So in a hypothetical example, if I may, if there were a lot of students at a particular campus that needed one particular course to be run next semester on Sunday afternoons, and there were no other professors who could teach it, no other professors who could be hired to teach that course. If that professor is student-centric, that professor would make the sacrifice to teach that course on a Sunday afternoon. If he's not,
5 more minutes.
Thank you. He'd offer that course for on Tuesday and Thursdays at 11 o'clock. And so what we believe is that these 4 dimensions here, there are external forces that operate distinctly different on all of those forces that relate to our research. Now we break our categories down into 4 types. Green light campuses, they don't have any foreseeable issues that need to be addressed. Examples are Spelman, Howard, Morehouse. Yellow light campuses, they're in reasonable health, but they have some issues that if they don't address it, they could end up in a downward spiral, and you see examples down there. And then finally, pink light campuses, those are the struggling ones. Those are in danger of closing down or being taken over by a larger incumbent. And then the 4th category, those are shut down campuses, they're gone forever. And so on our research, we asked those pink category campuses, are they similar or different to the other 3 types in 9 specific ways, which were shared. And so again, this is, we intend to do this research to find out, do faculty members impact these 8 variables and other related impact. So the 9 specific research questions now are the degree to which the campus's programs effectively pipeline students into strategic internships, really meaningful jobs, higher wages, promotions at their current job, graduate school acceptance, graduate school scholarships, and performance on national graduate school entrance exam. Does how the campus brand is perceived, does it differ across the groups that you see down there, from students, hiring organizations, current employees, graduate school, and the faculty and staff at the institution? Do pink light campuses differ from the other 3 types in terms of the number of years since their current curriculum was last validated or refreshed? Do they differ, number 4, in terms of the portion of the current curriculum that was inputted by those external entities you see, hiring organizations?
3 more minutes.
Thank you. Hiring organizations, student, current employees, graduate school. And number 5, do they differ in terms of the time that that input was reflected in the current curriculum? And then do pink light campus differ in terms of having a department-wide Common Core exam that was created in collaboration with external partners? Do they differ in terms of whether soft skills are taught as a one-time shot, or infused and reinforced throughout the curriculum, and then how students are valuing paying off their campus bills versus using discretionary bill money and spending on alternatives. And then finally, the portion of faculty members that are cognizant of the actual drivers of student commitment, such as how many students are there really to matriculate for the purpose of spending financial aid? How many are there to matriculate only as a stepping stone? How many of those students value and believe that the campus institutionalizes multiple forms of intelligence? And then how many of them are really in tune with student culture and appreciate it? So in my last minute, this yellow shows how we will operationalize many of our constructs. And I just kind of wanted to put that in. So that basically concludes our presentation. We're going to develop a formal report and so forth and share the findings. And we would love to hear your recommendations on how to move forward. So at this moment, I turn the floor back over to Dr. Billy. Thank you all very much for listening.
Thank you.